He explained it like this. He says, when you're born and you have a certain amount of receptors for the transporters that are coming down, he said that's the way that God created you. He's not a believer. He's not a Christian. And he'll tell you that, okay? But he speaks Christianese and he doesn't even know it, okay? I raised my hand one time and said, oh, you said it. And he didn't even know he said it. And here's the way that he said it. He said, people go down to this little Baptist church right down the street from this clinic. And they come back and they say, you know what, I think I'm healed. I don't even want the drug anymore. He said, all of them say that. He said, but there's a certain percentage that come back. And he said, and if you were to take a neuro scan of that particular person, you're going to find out that those receptors that were upregulated, that grew, all of a sudden were gone. They were back to normal. And listen to the statement that he said, and it's on recording, by the way. He says, it's as if they were born again. Got a new start, okay? Now, he didn't know what we're talking about, okay? But what happens is there is a miracle that can take place. I do not want to leave that out. At any given time that God wants to do something, he can do it, period. And we've watched that happen. There are other people that have a very slow process of coming to that realization of faith, okay? Now, let's keep going. Upregulated or the neuroadapted. Now what this does is it forms a craving. When they have all the receptors sitting there and nothing coming into it, we get a craving. I want this. I need this. And now they're willing to do whatever to get it. Okay? Now, I traveled to Flint, Michigan with the county commissioners a while back. And on the way back there, the county commissioners were talking about drug addicts. And it wasn't all that good. Okay, they were calling them certain names, and you know, these people are a menace to society. And I said, okay, let's try to take this in a perspective that all of us really understand. We're going to put you in a solid brick room, and on one side of that room behind you, we're going to put up a picture of the most beautiful woman that you've ever seen in your life, dressed in however you want her to be dressed in. We're all going to leave, and we're going to lock you in that room. And we're going to ask you something. First of all, if you look at that picture, you're going to prison. If you do anything in that room, we will take your children from you. Are you going to look at the picture or not? They laughed, and you go, of course we're going to look at the picture. It's natural, really. The picture for an addict is 10 times that of what I just mentioned to you, and you're asking them not to think about it. That's the wrong approach. And you're saying that if you do this, and if you go back to this particular drug, we're going to take your children from you. Wrong approach. You ever tried to put stress, depression, or fear on an addict? You put them up with stress, depression, or fear, boom, you have relapse. Doesn't work. That's old school. We've already learned that. You're going to go to prison if you do this. You're going to lose your family. Bring it on. See, an addict, there's one thing that an addict has over you. They hate themselves more than you hate them. And that's one thing that you have to keep in mind all the way through any type of mentoring. They don't like themselves. We have to keep that in mind. Okay, they're bored, they need stimulation. What kind of response does this person give? They want something, they want it now, they're willing to steal from it. People don't steal because they need the stuff. People steal because they want the adrenaline rush that they got away with it. That's why they steal. Ask them. I ask hundreds of them. Okay, the ones that are in my home right now. Why in the world did you steal something like that? I don't know. I guess I just wanted to get away with it. Did you need it? Well, no, not really. It was a simple little thing. Anybody would have bought it for you, a little thing of makeup. Why in the world would you steal it? I don't know. I like getting away with it. Welcome to our society. It's adrenaline to them. It's a little bit of, I got away with it. Okay? Think about that. Now, let me explain the process, first of all, of the use and kind of how it messes with them. Okay, if used by smoking or by needle, we call this high use, or a needle being intravenously, then immediately the user experiences a rush, or what's known as a flash. Within about 5 to 10 seconds, boom, it hits them just like that. But it lasts only minutes at what we know to be the plus 10 or at the top of the rush before it goes over the elbow. After that, they have to go into a type of what we know as a binge to try to get back up there, but they never get back up there again. The first time that they use and the capacity that they use is going to be the highest that they're going to get in that capacity. So if you start out eating it, that's the highest you're going to get the first time. And if you go from eating it to you decide you're going to snort it, well, if you snort it, that's the highest you're going to get. And then from snorting it, you're going to smoke it. Well, that's the highest you're going to get then. And then from smoking it, you're going to use it intravenously. Intravenously, boom, that's the highest you're going to get. And anytime you use it intravenously after that, you will never get back up to the same high unless you change the way that you use it or the substance that you're using. Okay? But by either smoking it or by needle, that's called high use. It messes with almost a different part of the brain, even though it's still in the midbrain system and the limbic system, and it messes with the emotions and the cortex. It's still is considered a very, very high use, both of them. So don't try to separate necessarily an intravenous user from one that smokes it, okay? Because you still have the same process of trying to get them away from it. If used by snorting or sniffing or ingesting it, which is eating it, then it produces a euphoria or a high, but not the intense rush that it would by smoking or intravenously using it. If snorted, it's going to produce effects within 3 to 5 minutes, or if eaten, it's going to take up to 15 or 20 minutes. A lot of people like the slow come on and the slow release. A lot of them like a fast come on, and they like that tremendous high. And like I said, if you relate it to 10 times out of an orgasm, you know the type of high that they're going through, and you know why they're going to do what they're going to do. The lasting effects can be up to 24 hours only on the neurological system, other than that, or on the nervous system. Other than that, the high is not that long. They get high and they come right down off of it, and then they're looking for something fast. They get very irritable. They get mad. They get upset. You could be their mother and try to get them up in the morning, okay? And they're going to scream and holler at you. Their dogs don't like them when they're in that particular mode. Their dogs won't even sit by them. There's something about them. They are just irritated people. The user is going to go through respiratory disorders, dizziness, grinding their teeth, depending on, we don't want to get into the ecstasy and everything today, but we'll try to stay on a certain mindset. They'll have slurred speech, fast talk. Talk that doesn't even make any sense whatsoever. You'll sit by them, and they'll constantly just be going like this. Okay? Or if they're cocaine users, you can usually tell the cocaine users because they're the ones with Just watch them. A lot of times when they sit at my desk, I'll sit there and I'll say, well, what have you used most of your life? Oh, I don't know. Pot. Okay? Pot doesn't do that, but okay. They really don't want to tell you everything up front. So it's important that you understand what they've done. They're going to have dry, itchy skin, a loss of appetite, acne. They're going to have sores that are starting to produce in their skin depending on how long that they've been going. A lot of them can get pick. This is, again, the neurological system is going to start messing with the surface of the skin, and it feels like little bugs underneath their skin. So when they start to pick it, they're going to go after it, and that little tiny little thing that looked like a pimple at first is going to be about that big around because they try to pick the whole thing off. Their face is just all there's poisons are working out of their skins. We've never seen anything like methamphetamine as far as bringing poisons out in their skin. It wipes their complexion right out. We have a girl right now. She's 19 years of age in our rehab, and we're looking at her now, and her face is just all full of stuff. And a year ago, her parents showed me a picture of her, and she was just beautiful. 1 year after use. 1 year. Now, is she going to admit it? She'll put on makeup and go out there and still be the same girl. She thinks. Inside, she hates herself. She knows what's going on. She looks at her looks every day in a mirror and says, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. And because she hates herself, she doesn't care about herself, she's going to go off and do something really weird. We as Christians have to understand them, and we have to put our flesh aside to be able to help them. Because they're going to be mad at you, and they're going to be angry at you, when in all actuality, they don't like anybody. They don't like themselves. Okay? They really like their kids, and they love their kids. And we say, you don't love your children because you're doing drugs. That is not the truth. They do love their children. You need to understand that just as much as you do when you make some silly, dumb, stupid decisions in your life. Okay? They love their children. But there is a disorder that's going on inside of their brain that's allowing them to curve the direction of their life, and it's almost uncontrollable for them. They can't stop it. They sweat, they're numb in different places. The physical effects can go on as long as they're using. It actually gets worse as they continue to use. It's nothing for a 150, 160-pound woman 1 week later to be 110 pounds, okay? When they get on methamphetamine, the metabolism just goes whoosh, they are stimulated. They are going. They're not eating. They're bypassing a lot of their instinctive things that they should be doing. They're bypassing all of that. You're getting them at the end of the process when they weigh 110, 120 pounds, and they say, I need some help. You're going, you're kidding. Look at you. What can we do for you? I like to just start feeding them because they're hungry. They want to eat. Start giving them something to eat. Start talking to them. Start loving on them. Start exhorting them. Give them a little bit of hope every single day. More hope, more hope, more hope, until all of a sudden they're running a race just trying to keep up with the hope that you gave them.